Today I'm going to be making mac and cheese. I've been making this recipe for a couple years. It's another Joshua Wiseman recipe. It's from one of his cookbooks, but he's also upgraded it for a Thanksgiving sides video. And what I've done is I've also taken that Thanksgiving upgrade recipe and then added a little bit more texture on top with the panko breadcrumbs. One of Joshua's books is all about texture over taste, and the mac and cheese is based out of the creamy texture. And I figured, hey, why not also just add a little bit of crunch to it as well? What I have in front of me, the pasta, I've gone for an elbow pasta, trying something different instead of the shells that I normally go with. I already have the bonito flakes measured out, the heavy cream and the whole milk, the panko breadcrumbs, the flour, and I have the cheese here that I actually need to cut up, and then some Parmesan to put at the end on top. So first thing, what I'm gonna do is get the heavy cream and the milk warm, get it steeping. I made this mac and cheese maybe a month ago. I always have leftover heavy whipping cream. I used up the remainder and added some new ones, so hopefully that'll be fine. So milk and heavy cream heating up, preheating the oven at 325. I do have the recipe book out in front of me because I don't remember every single little detail, just snippets here and there. What Joshua uses is cheesecloth and butcher's twine. What I have is this little sachet bag thing from Taiwan. It's used for brewing herbal medicine, and so figured I could just use this one in here. What I'll do is I'll try to grab as much of the bonito flakes as possible. A few bay leaves to go in. I usually just try to crush it up. I have also rosemary and thyme. It's from my backyard, homegrown. Go ahead and bruise it, just bruise the herbs just ever so slightly. Hopefully it releases a little bit more of its aromats when steeping into the milk and heavy cream. And then I also have some garlic that I've grown. I don't remember quite exactly the breed. It's either a Romanian red or I think it's a Romanian red. Squeeze that in, loop it around a few times. Try to flatten it. Let's mix this up a bit. While the mixture is still heating up, I will get my cheese ready. What I've been told is to not use pre-shredded cheese because there's a coating on the shredded cheese that makes it hard to melt later on. So using whole or blocks of cheese has always been advised, but shredding cheese, especially of this size, takes a really long time. So I do a shortcut, which my friend somewhat considers blasphemy, but it saves my forearms from being dead tired. Sure, you've noticed the food processor next to me, but what I'll do is I'll rough chop this cheese into blocks, drop that in, and I'm just gonna run the cheese through a food processor. It's preset chop. Let it run while I prepare the next set of cheese. Still some fairly large pieces, so I'm gonna run through the chop preset again. So the cheeses that I have for this is a sharp cheddar cheese and this is a Gruyere. Rough chop, rough chop. The mixture is starting to bubble up, so I'm gonna turn down the heat a bit. Then I'm going to push down so this aromatics bag gets fully saturated. Mix it every once in a while, so hopefully that it just fully incorporates. Let's take a little look. Let's do one more. Top reset. That looks good. Get the Gruyere blended as well. I just turned it all the way down to low and steep it for a while. Okay. Next, I'm going to start getting the pasta ready. Go ahead and mix the cheese a bit. So one thing that I don't do is I don't season the pasta water. I don't salt it because I think that makes it more difficult to control the salt levels or how salty the overall dish is. There were a few times where I salted the pasta boiling water and it just came out so salty. There's just like pockets of salt. It was really weird. From then on, I just don't season the boiling pasta water with any salt. I'll usually try to add the salt in the milk and cream mixture if I do remember. Sometimes I forget. Oh, okay, pasta's boiling. I think normally it's advised to boil the water first and then throw the pasta in after it started boiling, but I think it's okay for you to put the pasta in and then just add it to just above the pasta line so that you're not using as much water and it's quicker to come to a boil. But the problem this way is the packet instructions are less accurate, so I have to try and remember when al dente might feel like. Maybe another minute. Let's try another piece. I think that's good. One whole stick of butter. When this melts down, throw flour in, whisk. So normally I use sea salt, and I usually don't need to add in that much, but because this is one of the first few times that I'm using kosher salt, I'm not all that experienced using kosher salt in this recipe. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, squeeze out as much of the milk and cream out of this bag. Okay, I think that's salty enough. Okay, pouring in just some ever so slightly. Okay, starting to thicken. Pouring the rest. Okay. Then mix until thickened. Yeah, okay, now slightly thickened. And then estimating about half of the cheese. That looks about half. That's just the right amount of saltiness. Oh, come on. Well, they really stuck to each other. That looks pretty good. There in the corners. Then we'll add the remaining cheese. Once the remaining cheese has been added, go ahead and layer the rest of the mac and cheese on top. I think this is the most even or level pasta that have had made. Now, what's next? Bake for 15 to 20 minutes. I'm gonna heat up some butter to mix with the panko breadcrumbs. Let's just do 1 tablespoon. Maybe like that much. So another tablespoon. Mix this up. Under 2 minutes left for this mac and cheese to finish baking. Bring it out. Going to top it with the panko breadcrumbs. Looking pretty good. Lightly sprinkle the panko breadcrumbs over the top, just like this. off broil. Let's just do high.
1 minute, counting down.
So I do have to keep my eye on this. Wow, okay, 2 minutes on high. I gotta remember that for next time. Woo! Look at that. Okay. Let's do the slow. Not rush through it. Technically the party's starting in 5 minutes. Here's the mac and cheese. It's what I've more or less been making for the past couple years. It's Joshua Wiseman's Thanksgiving mac and cheese, just slightly modified, shredded Parmigiano Reggiano on top of the panko breadcrumbs that's been toasted underneath a broiler. And I think I also used both rosemary and thyme in the sachet bag that I steep in the milk and heavy cream. Hope you enjoyed this video. I love making this. I only make it for parties. I don't make it for myself, and I usually don't add anything else. I don't add chicken or broccoli into it. This is meant to be a side dish to the different foods that my friends make, usually some sort of smoked brisket or ribs. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.